Hi everyone, Katie here. Welcome back to another layout video. Today I am using this sketch as my inspiration. So here's what I've decided to do. I have a piece of basil marshmallow cardstock, and I have my distress oxide in broken china, cracked pistachio, stormy sky, picked raspberry, and squeezed lemon. So I trimmed this down to a 12 by 12 page, and I get out my silicone like mixed media mat, and I start inking up my paper. I'm just dragging the edge of each ink pad along the paper just to create a little line of color. And I'm doing it in the same order over and over and over again. And I just love this Distress Oxide. I love the bright, vivid colors in it. And then I really love to watch the magic happen here. Next, I use my water spritzing bottle, and I hold the paper up because I want the water and the ink colors to run down the paper. So I use my heat tool to dry it so that I can get right to scrapping. I have two photos of me at the beach. It was over spring break, so it was a little bit cooler still. But I had, my cropped legging pants on and my little sweater, and I sat under my nice little beach umbrella clipped onto my sand chair, and I was just having a grand old time. Any day at the beach, even a cold day, is a good day. So I'm putting my photos together. I know I want to mat them, and I do have two photos instead of one, which is different from the sketch, but I thought I'll just do my two photos and mat them rather than have a large photo frame. It looks almost like they had some kind of Instax or Polaroid frame there on that sketch, but I think mine works out just fine, and I don't mind not perfectly following the sketch. So this paper, it's mostly like a craft brown paper with black stripes. It is from My Mind's Eye. It's one of those that you pick up at Tuesday morning and you get 25 of the same pieces of paper, which is a lot, but I thought a basic like this is something that can easily be used many times over without you really realizing, or thinking that you've done the same layout 1,000 times. So my photos are matted here, and my paper's pretty much dry. I won't say I was super patient with it, but I'm trying to figure out how I want to nestle these two photos together and, still see plenty of the background that I made. So I almost wish that I had moved my color, that line of color, up a little higher, but it was kind of about that at the height in the sketch. So when I started, that's what I was going for. So I put it so that the photos have color above and below them, and I think that that works out best. So now I'm trying to think, okay, how do I want to do this? I know that there are sewn lines around the outside edge of the photo, and I don't want to sew on this. I don't think that that is really going to work out nicely, but I decide to stamp. So I have this kind of long, edge stamp, and it's really supposed to be like a scalloped edge, but if you use it correctly, they kind of look like ocean waves. So I get my two more Distress Oxides, one in Chipped Sapphire and the other in Mowed Lawn, and I just go along the top and the bottom of the paper. So the sketch has all four sides with a border or a sewn edge, but I thought it would look kind of funky if I did these scallopy, oceany waves going across the side because they'd be going the wrong way. And then I thought it would take away from the ocean wave look and look more scallopy. So I decided just to do at the top and the bottom. So I intentionally go over with the Mowed Lawn color, but I don't want them to be perfectly overlapped. So I intentionally kind of offset them so that you could see both colors. I also kind of thought it gave it more of a 3D wave kind of look as well. And also I wiped off my stamp in between each, stamping and sometimes between re-inkings, because if the Distress Oxide is a little wet, it kind of bleeds out a little more, which was an effect I was actually going for. There have been plenty of times where I did not intend to do that and get a really, bled out looking stamp, but that's okay. This time I wanted it to do that. Again, contributing to like the waviness. Now I'm doing my journaling underneath my first photo, which again is something that came from the sketch. I use my shimmery jelly roll pen to make little journaling lines. Now, while I did use my Thickers ruler, these lines are going sideways, so they're slanted just so. So they are not perfectly even. I just kind of eyeballed it, and I think I did a pretty good job. And it's okay with me that they are not perfectly spaced apart. They're close enough, works for me. So I'm writing here just a little bit about how, any day is a happy day on the beach, even if it's cold. I had my book, my little chair, and I had my sweater and longer pants to keep me warm, and I was just so happy to be on the beach. So that is what I write about there. And now I'm trying to figure out how to do this title. At first, when I was first doing this, I wanted to use these stamps. This is a new stamp set I got from Heidi Swap. They're just super cute, and it has 2 alphabet sets, so that one will give like a background to the other. Really wanted to use those, but they don't end up making it. So I do have this set of Thickers, and they are, pre-decided phrases. This one says lazy days. I left off the S, so it says lazy day. But I thought these were perfect for a nice day of sitting and relaxing on the beach. And they have these cute little gold plus signs, I guess you would call them, that I wanted to use as well. I thought that went well with all the bright colors. So I know I want to have that kind of under ribbon, I suppose, that's underneath the title and the sketch. So I decided to use washi tape with that. Now this is a washi tape. It's like a variegated like rainbow that came from the new Obed Marshall Buenos Dias collection. I haven't used a whole lot of this washi tape yet, but I really love all the colors, and I think it really goes nicely with all the colors in this layout. It is a subtle banner, especially with all the colors going on in this layout, but I think it works really well. It just lets the title stand out a little bit more than it would have if I didn't use it. So I do, cut out the little edges to make little ribbon edges, and put my Thickers, press those down really well over top. They are chipboard Thickers. So I'm adding a few more of the little plus signs, and I wanted to use one of my new tools that I got for my birthday. So I'll be getting that out here in just a second after I sprinkle around the last few little plus signs, gold plus signs that I have from this Thickers set. I am almost finished with this, which I kind of, pat myself on the back for using up my supplies. I love buying new ones. I love using what I have, but there's just something about using up your supplies that is satisfying. So this is my new staple board from We Are Memory Keepers. I didn't even know they made this tool, but my husband got it for me for my birthday. So I really like using it. It just adds a little staple. It can be anywhere in the page, which I thought was so neat. We Are Memory Keepers just has the best tools. I mean, there's always something different. So I add 2 little gold staples underneath the title just to add a little bit of texture here. And it's very subtle, but I really like how it turns out. So to add a little bit to the chaos of this background, I add my Heidi Swap Color Shine. The first color I use is mustard, and then the second color I use is called Sweet Mint. I love these Heidi Swap Color Shines. I think me and everyone else do. So now to finish off my layout, I want to add something like that little tag up in the top right corner that is on the sketch. So I pull out like my summery, beachy ephemera box, and I have a new set from My Mind's Eye that I pull a few little pieces from. It's this little tropical flower, this acetate word that says happy, and then behind that acetate word is just this teeny tiny tag that has white and foiled gold stripes. So I want to put this all together with a little staple, again using that staple board. And I was hoping to adhere it to the paper even through that staple, but as I'm sure you know, the basil marshmallow is very thick stuff, and also trying to staple through this acetate, it just, didn't work out quite as well as I thought. And I decided I need to use some double-sided tape to stick all these layers together before I, try the staple. So really, this was the much better way of doing it. I don't recommend cutting the corners like I tried. Sometimes it works and sometimes things just fall apart. So I end up kind of redoing that and getting the staple in, and it looks much nicer this way. And with my double-sided tape that I'm putting down, it ends up, everything sticks much nicer as well. So definitely it's not worth it to cut the corners there. But as I'm putting this on here, this will be my last little finishing touch that I add to my layout. So I stick that on there, cut off the excess, and that'll finish my layout. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.